Oh my God, that scared me.
Righty. Hello. Final three. You guys just got done with your last tribal, and y'all are about to do your little rites of passages. So we're gonna go through each person, going from first boot to last juror, and three of you are gonna just talk about these people as we go on. And as we go, I'm gonna have the pictures showing. So yeah. Oh wait, hold on. I think there's a full screen. Yeah, we could do it like this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we had 18. We started this game with a wonderful cast of 18 people, and coming in 18th place was X. So whoever would like to start, you guys go. One of you starts talking. You guys do whatever.
I think he has a really cool name, and then he chose an even cooler nickname. That's nice. I mean, I've never really met the guy, but from what I heard, he was really formidable day one, making alliances left and right. And someone who can do that, it kind of makes you feel bad that you did not get to play with them, because they would put you like through the ringer, right? So kind of glad I don't have to play with him, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure he would have done well had he survived this vote.
Yeah, I'll say, like, I don't know X personally. I've seen him in the org community, but I do have mad respect for his game. His reputation sort of precedes him a little bit in terms of, he's really good at forming those connections early and kind of getting his hands on the reins of a tribe. And I really do respect his game, and obviously people were afraid of his game early. So, with all due respect, man, like, I have nothing but love for you. I think I've seen you in the org community now for a couple of years, and I have nothing but respect for you. Sorry we didn't get a chance to play together.
Well, he was very lovely, but he loses lovely points because he voted for me that round. But honestly, I enjoyed my conversation, so I was a little shocked by him voting for me. My understanding was that the reason why is because he wanted to vote for someone else, and that someone else found out. But yeah, he was very quickly able to grasp a lot of people that were willing to vote with him very quickly. And if people were not willing to compare notes within the last like hour and a half of tribal, he would have survived that vote, I think, and he would have been like very, very dangerous, because I think he literally would have had control of the Red Jaguars tribe, which was way more up in the air than it was after he left. So yeah, I really enjoyed my conversations with him though, because I was the only one that actually met or got to really talk to him. But yeah, we're similar in age, which is nice.
How come you look like you've gone through more milestones in life? I'm kidding, Eric. You're nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. I guess, yeah, you guys went over X. Well, yeah. X was truly a fire-ass cracker on his way in and out of this game.
He made sure he left with a bang for sure.
Yes.
Very much so.
Alrighty, so next person, I think some of us are gonna have a chuckle as we talk about them. And that is Lawrence.
Party in the USA.
I need someone to explain this to me thoroughly.
Mm-hmm. I think Lawrence is lovely. I think Lawrence is amazing. He's one of the early conversations that I had, and in my head, I'm like, we're the only people of color in here, so I kind of wanted to connect with him. But early on, I kind of realized how polar opposites we are. He likes having a sense of control. I like letting other people control the game. He's like, Brian, make sure you don't backstab me. And he gave me my first vote, and I was like, love that kid. I really enjoyed him though. Like, there was a competition, Eric, where it was a telephone game, and he had the line producer, he had a teacher, he had writers, and he decided he's just not going to ask everyone what their strengths are. He's just going to randomize who participates in the telephone game. So, and then um, during the actual telephone game, while information was being passed on to him, he was blasting the music Party in the USA. So he couldn't understand what was being said. That's why that running joke is Party in the USA.
That's
all I
amazing.
have.
Yeah, no, Lawrence was awesome. Like from the get, he was one of the first people that reached out to me to talk to me, in the game itself. And I loved talking with him. And I remember him saying early that he was really, wanted to get further than first or second boot, and that was really important to him, and I wanted to really help him with that. Like, again, in that first conversation when he said that, I was like, oh, okay, so I wanted to be able to try to help him as much as I could. But then we did that Olmec challenge, when he started like taking control of that challenge, it was kind of like, wow. I mean, listen, there's something to be said for someone who wants to get things organized and get it done. But at the same time, like, we got to think about like, what is the best opportunity for the tribe to win versus randomizing. We had to really talk that out. And I think that there was just a disconnect there. And I wasn't there for the challenge. I didn't hear Party in the USA. However, I only heard it secondhand. But I mean, we did the best we could. And that challenge was, what was it, 2.5 to 1.5, right? We both tribes sucked at answering questions. So.
Which was not on my part, by the way. I think I did very well. I think our entire tribe actually did very well. There was just all the parts that were forgotten were literally all of the questions. But yeah.
But I do love Lawrence. I do love him. And he was really, really fun to talk to. That's for sure.
Yes.
I mean, I remember like once production told us that they would do that, tribal was like right away, and like we were like, what the fuck is happening? Like, why are they doing it so early? We did not understand at all. And we were just like, we either said like someone asked to be voted out, or someone like really, really fucked up. So we were like, okay. We were all very confused. And then after we saw the vote, I didn't even really mention it to anyone. Like, no one really kind of brought it up. So I only found out, I think, like when there was like 6 people left. I think it was like, I had no idea about, yeah. But he seemed really nice, and it seemed with, like, by the sounds of it, he was really, really wanting, like, trying very hard to make it far. And it sucked that the way he left, I think, more than him leaving. Is because I think like under his, like, by his definition, I think he was like trying to be as helpful as he could, and really was like trying to do the best so that his tribe would win.
Righty. Well, I feel I can say this now, especially since it's not going to change anything. That challenge was so iconic. I actually have the whole footage of the Green Monkeys telephone comp uploaded on our YouTube channel that will be public after the season ends. And I have the timestamp for when it happens too.
I need to watch this.
See, he's like the moment of the season. He has such a big contribution.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Lawrence, you're an icon.
I have a lot. I will, at this reunion, I will give how exactly the reactions that me and Prod were going through during that whole situation.
It was a time.
It was. Alrighty, so next we got Lauren.
Oh,
Can I go first?
Go ahead.
I only want to say this because I did not realize who Lauren was until after she was voted out. And like, I didn't realize that I have known Lauren a very long time. And I was like, shut the front door when I found out like that I knew Lauren for years. And I love Lauren, and I'm just bummed that like, you know, that she didn't get to merge, because I would have loved to have gotten a chat with her, or at least swapped with her to talk with her more and figure that out before it got to be like final like 9 or something when I figured it out. And I was like, but Lauren, I love you. You're the best. You've been one of my longest friends in the org community, and I seriously just haven't talked to you in a few years, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together. So love you, and I'm sorry that you didn't make it far here. It made me sad.
Okay. Lauren, oh my God, she's one of my favorite people here. When they revealed that she's a part of the cast, I was like, because she commented in one of my profile photos, like, Brian, we haven't played in a while. We played iSurvivor together. She, I believe, ended in 4th place. She was the biggest jury threat to win. And in my head, I knew that had Lauren made it further into the game, she's going to be nuclear. And I feel so bad that we did not get to play together, Queen. Like, I would have enjoyed it. We wanted to play together for so long. So such a missed opportunity. Fuck Eric for voting you out.
She voted me out first.
Yeah.
I was actually both of the people that did vote for me, X and Lauren, I actually wasn't expecting it from either of them, because they were people that I talked to more than other people in my tribe. Lauren and I had a very lovely conversation about cows, which I still remember. That was like our very first conversation. And I think I even did a confessional. I was like, oh my God, Lauren and I spoke about farm animals. She's like my favorite person. We spoke about cows for like 20 minutes. It was great. And we were like talking about farm life and stuff. And then after the tribal council that she voted for me, it honestly was more that I don't think she was around as much as she would have liked to have been. So out of the people, like, she was the only other person that voted in the minority, and because of she wasn't as around as much, it kind of made her like an easy vote this round, which is, I think, kind of why she ended up leaving. I really enjoyed my conversations with, I don't know if I'm talking to, I really enjoyed my conversations with Lauren. I hope she enjoyed talking to me too. I just think if she was around more, she would have been done very, very well.
Alrighty. We do love Lauren. She is a queen. I've known her for a while, and it was exciting when she applied. Alrighty. So next, we're gonna, let me exit out right here. Okay. What is my computer screen doing? It's gonna go to the swap pictures. That's why I was like, what? Okay, what is going on? Trying to find them down. Okay, here we go. Next person getting a tie placement of 14/15 is Mac. If it'll let me click on the picture. There we go. Alrighty, whoever wants to go.
Oh.
Well, I don't want to go first.
I'll go first then. Mac, you were somebody that when I saw in the game, I was like, I want to work with you. I wanted to like get to have conversation with you because of your connections outside of the game that I know. I was very, very excited when I saw you. But then when we swap a rude, things were a little messy, and you know, things happened in the Purple Parrots tribe, of which Eric and Brian have made it very clear that they wanted us to lose every challenge. But Mac, that after we lost that first challenge, like there was a lot of scrambling. You know, there was a 3-2 majority of green monkeys, and you and Tawny were trying to figure out where you could get a foothold. And you know, and there was a lot of things being said. There was like, he was trying to get Lee to vote for me. He was trying to get me to vote for Allie. He was trying to get all of us to vote for each other. And then we all kind of, again, like we have said, compared notes, and then all of a sudden it all came back to Mac. And you know, Mac obviously has a way to like get the seeds planted, start getting people to think. And, I think he was just scrambling a smidge too much with some people that kind of caught him. And I think that was it. Had he not been caught, he could have really gone far in this game for sure. And I have nothing but respect for him. He was trying to save his neck. And we've all been there.
Mac, you are magnetic. You are charming. I've played with you before. Your social prowess is like literally unparalleled. You know how to talk to people's ears and get people to listen. So when I saw you in this cast, I was praying to Jesus, to Allah, to every god out there that I'm not on the same tribe with you, because I was literally shaking because you're that good. But it kind of helped my game that you left a little bit early. Sorry.
I mean, I spoke a lot with Mac. Mac was probably one of the people I spoke to the most on the Red Jaguars tribe. And I literally think he was probably like the top person on the Red Jaguars tribe. I do not think, if we did not have a swap, I do not think he would have ever gotten voted out of that tribe. And I do think he kind of got screwed over by the swap, because I genuinely believe that he was on the top of our tribe. And I think I did say in a confessional that, like, if any of the two people that could have got separated, that would have survived, in my opinion, it would have been Mac and Tawny, which I think is interesting. But yeah, Mac was a very, very strong player. It's the accent, I swear. But he was so fun to talk to. I had a lovely conversation with him and his boyfriend multiple times on a Zoom call. So yeah, it was really fun talking with him all the time.
Righty, we do love Mac, and we do stand Jeremy too. So yeah. Next person who is tied with Mac and was another casualty in our double night is Henry.
Oh,
I just gotta say, he was like the bomb.com when it came to our music video. Like, he was like a star in our music video. And I only had a few conversations with Henry, but man, like, what a nice fella, like one of the nicest people. Super kind, super nice to talk to, and very easy to get along with. Just one of the nicest people I've met in the org community in the 2 years I've been playing. Like, I got nothing negative to say about that guy. Like, nothing negative at all.
Oh, Henry, to be honest, I'm so surprised that you got voted out. I was told that you did not connect much to people, but I kind of understand that. Life kind of gets in the way sometimes. We're not in a real island here. So I don't think your absence was intentional, But I really wish we had more opportunities to connect, because just looking at this picture, girl, like... Anyway, that's all I have to say. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was never on a tribe with Henry at all. I think he kind of suffered from the same thing that Lauren did. Like, by the sounds of it, he was very likable, would have been able to go really far if he survived the vote that they got voted out, and was able to be around more to actually communicate and talk with a lot more people. Because I think once he gained his footing, I think he would be a really strong contender. So, yeah.
Alrighty, and that is Henry. I personally wanted him to scream before he went home. And there's a backstory on that, but yeah. Basically, he played Experiment, got voted out, and he screamed after he got voted out. And he said, I would scream, but I'm tired. I'm like, fuck, I have to scream. All right, our next casualty in 13th place is Tawny.
I love you, Tawny, and your egg chair. Your egg chair is everything. I was first introduced to the egg chair in the first game I ever played with Tawny in 1984. Not the year 1984, but the org 1984. Oh. Shut up, Eric. And Tawny and I were not on the same side of the game in that in that game. And I really wanted to work with Tawny. I would have liked to have had the opportunity to work more with her. But when the tribe swap happened, she was not really kind of willing to budge from Mac. And but she like then came for me and tried to drop, a vote on me when she got voted out. So but again, another person who's got a really good mind for the game, knows what's going on, and is really good at like throwing misdirection. And that's a compliment. That's not like shade. That's like she knows how to like start pushing things in other ways away from her, but like getting people to start and getting that traction to start. And I have nothing but respect for her. I have nothing but respect for her. She is one, and a firecracker too if you get her upset. And I promise you, I've seen her upset, and I do not want to be on the rough edge of her tongue. Absolutely not. So Tawny, much respect, sweetie pie. I love you, and your egg chair will always be iconic to me.
Oh, Tawny, I really wish we got to play. I think of the three of us here, I'm the only person you never really had an interaction with. But I did see your cast video when it was released. I was like, oh my God, she's so cool. I saw the hair, I saw the nose ring, there's a sense of independence and a unique type of soul that radiates through. And I was just like, oh, I'm gonna love her. But unfortunately, it wasn't in the cards. So hopefully next time we get to play together.
Tawny and I had many very good conversations. We spoke about African lion safari. We spoke about how an animal, I kind of scared her a little bit because I told her a story about how an animal charged a car and I flipped the car over. So we were talking about like good drive-through safaris and all kinds of like really, really cool stuff, and that she was visiting friends. Tawny was honestly just such a joy to talk to. I think talking to her was like so effortless, and it felt like I had known her a lot longer than I did with just the stuff we were talking about, which is she was just such a personable person. She like listened when you were talking, and she was very, just honestly such a joy and like radiated light. So it was very, I was very sad to see Tawny leave because I spoke to Tawny a lot on our original tribe. And I was really hoping that she'd make the merge so we could like kind of reconnect.
Alrighty, we do stand Tawny. I got a lot of love for her. She, besides my own boyfriend, she is the warrior I've had the longest hug with. So yeah, IRL. Next up, we have Mr. Jackson Lamar, who is our last pre-merger.
Yes. Jackson. I saw this guy as Captain America. I don't know why. The way he stands, the way he talks, the way he addresses people, I was just like in awe of this guy. Like literally. Unfortunately, I think the situation was, it was the start of Pride, and there's no Pride in Singapore. So I was traveling, getting drunk, getting laid, doing all the nasty things. And Jackson and I were trying our best to communicate. The connection just couldn't happen. And when I found out that, of course, I was the easiest person for him to push because we didn't really have a connection, I think Jackson kind of didn't realize just where the roots were and how deeply connected I was to other members of the tribe. So I'm so sorry, Jackson, that you went out like that. Like really, because if we connected a lot better, I was literally pushing for someone else to go that time. I wouldn't have wanted it to be you, but I'm kind of happy that it was you.
Yeah, I don't know Jackson, so but I can say, I mean, I know of him. I've seen him in the community, and he does give off that Captain America vibe, Brian.
Right?
Right. I mean, I've never had a conversation with the dude, but I seriously want to. But for real, like when we merged, heard a lot of things about you, Jackson, that like I think had you made it to the merge, I think you would have been quite a formidable opponent moving forward. Yes. And I have nothing but respect for that, because obviously they felt like you needed to go before you had the ability to kind of spread your wings at merge. So much respect to you, man. Hope to see you around. Hope we get to a chance to play together.
Honestly, Jackson was one of my favorite people I met this entire, like I had played a game with him before. he voted me out, I think, but I don't even remember. But that's besides the point. Jackson and I spoke a ton about hockey. We talked about how he's an Avalanche fan and they're in the Cup final. I enjoyed every single conversation I had with Jackson, and even though it was before the merge, it was still probably one of the hardest votes that I think I've had this entire game, because I loved Jackson so much as a person compared. I think the bond that I had with him was probably one of the stronger ones I've made this game, honestly. So it was like I think it was a shift in my game moving forward, but it was like probably one of the hardest votes this game for me.
Right. We do love Mr. Lamar. He is the slayer of the Red Jaguars music video. Alrighty. Our next person. Hold on, I think I'm probably gonna exit out of this again. It's gonna show. Let's go through all these people until we get to our first merge boo and our last observer. Oh no, that's not what I'm talking about. Not me.
Yes.
But yeah, next up is Sierra.
Okay, so there are only three, not only three, but there are three people I'm really looking forward to connecting with after this game, just because of how deep I've gone with them personally and how much they enjoyed talking to me about my work, about the things that I do. And Sierra's really one of them. Like, Sierra got me to open up about the things that I go through every day, talking to people about killing themselves and then them surviving and me visiting them to the hospital and then me crying in front of them. It was, I rarely get that vulnerable in a conversation, and Sierra took me there. So when we had to vote people out, it just wasn't easy seeing it's either me or Sierra. And of course, at that point, I'm so sorry, Sierra. I know deep down in my heart, Jason did not want to vote you. He really, really didn't. But I would have gone wild if he tried voting me instead of you. So, but anyway, I really wish we connect in real life soon, because you're top class.
Yeah, I'll just build off that. And Brian's absolutely right. I and Eric can confirm this too, because I really went to both of them and was like, no, I think Sierra would be useful. I think we could maybe pull her in. And I was like, I was pushing hard for Aston. Both of them can confirm that. And because I did not want you to go, Sierra, you and I had like an hour and 45-minute conversation about everything and anything. And I was in love with you, sweetie pie. Like, honestly, like I wanted to work with you so much. And when the tribe literally there was nothing we could do, I was just like, and then the fact that you wanted to do Brian, I was like, I couldn't at that point because of my connection with Brian, obviously sitting here with Brian and Eric. So, but I tried really hard to get these two guys to swing. I honestly do. So I know you're watching this. I tried very hard to get these two guys to change. And, but I love you to pieces, sweetie. I hope to God we get to play and we end up on a tribe together so I can play with you from the get. I really mean that with all of my heart.
Sierra was such a bad bitch. Like, she came and she knew what to do. Like, she was so fucking annoying to compete in the scavenger hunt against. Literally awful, because she was like one of the only other people around at the times I was around, and she beat me to fucking everything. We literally said, like, she freaking had a ladder on standby. I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, yeah. Sierra and I actually had a little argument, just a mini one, about while we were on our original tribe, and I think we actually spoke a lot more after that, and we're kind of like really looking forward, like I was looking forward more after our conversation to working with her. And then once the merge came, it was kind of turned into a thing where it was Sierra and Brian, and obviously I was not voting for Brian, so I was more upset than I think you might even believe that the vote was kind of in between you and Brian, because out of the people that I'm like, I feel like after our little argument, we actually built like a really decent connection, and I think you kind of felt that too. So yeah.
Righty. We do love Sierra, a woman who nominated me week 2 in a game.
So beautiful in this photo. I'm sorry, I did not mean to cut you, but look at this photo, right? It's Vogue cover.
Listen, I'm telling you guys too. I'm gonna go see her in Philly. Like, I'm gonna go to Philly. I'm gonna go see her because I want to hang out with her and go have dinner. Like, that's a done deal.
This is a very good cast photo. I agree. Everything on point.
Yeah.
Right. So our 10th placer and the mayor and king of Ponderosa.
I'm crying again. I love you, Lee.
Yes, Lee, you're amazing. You were amazing.
Oh my god! If cackling was a sound, cackling is Lee. Like, Lee, you are amazing, and like you and Allie and I working our pre-merge purple parrot craziness. You know, without you, I wouldn't be sitting here at this point. So, like, buddy, like, you are amazing, and I'm bummed that you went out on that. What was it, 6-4 vote, if I remember right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Lee, you and I had the same blood. We wanted to be loyal to the people we were with, and we wanted to be loyal to them, like the actual tribe, regardless of whether we were at the top of their list or at the bottom of their list. We wanted to be loyal to that tribe. Unfortunately, sometimes scrambles happen, you know, and I wasn't around, admittedly, and at that time it just went to a different direction. But believe you and me, had I been there and people told me we're changing the vote, I would have still stuck with the vote of saving you, because I have no interest of voting people who make effort to talk to me, and you were one of them, so I appreciate that.
I mean,
now the traitor. I'm kidding.
I mean, it must have been nice for him to make an effort to talk to you. But anyway, honestly, I hadn't spoken a ton to Lee, and then within minutes, I told Lee what I wanted to do because I got a vote the first merge round, and I had told Lee, who was the only person that I told at the time, that I wanted to do Timmy or Lyndon because that's who I was assuming one of my vote came from. Well, man, was I ever wrong. So I do apologize for that, because none of that was true. But you are the only person I told. So the fact that Timmy and Lyndon knew within the first like 15-ish minutes, I think it was, that you went to them and basically threw me into the bus, I was like, oh, this is not good. So I did, like, obviously, you know, I voted you out now, but I was like, I voted differently than some of the people that I was working very, very close with that round, solely because I knew that you threw me under the bus so quickly. So that was like really, really worrying to me, because I think if I did vote with you to essentially save you, I felt like almost that you didn't really value my relationship anyway, because you didn't make an effort to talk to me. You seemed like a very good person, like very nice, very bubbly person. It was just the matter of we didn't really make an insane effort to talk to each other, I don't think. So.
Alrighty. The Jimmy stand was our first juror. Okay. Yeah. Next person, we have our 9th placer, our first single digits placement, Zach.
Zach,
should I start here or should I go last?
Oh, you should go last because I think you have a
I'll
lot to say.
go last.
Zach, our relationship was a wild one. I'm so sorry. You're one of the few people who I knew coming into the game, but we never really played together. And personally, I've always known you as an unpredictable person. I've known you as a person who is very undefiant. Yeah, that's a word. I'm not sure, but you're really very out there. And the fact that you voted me twice before and then now I was like, I made a deal with him to not vote him. And then I ended up voting him. So deep down, Zach, that did not feel good. But at the same time, I kind of felt like you guys were coming for Eric. I still remember all the morning conversations that I had that day, and all the votes were coming to Eric. Someone was telling me it's Ali, because they weren't really paying attention, but it was Eric. So I was like, we're gonna go with Jason's plan here, and it's gonna be Zach. I'm so sorry, Zach.
I mean, me and you barely, like, Zach, me and you barely spoke on their original tribe. Like, I think we didn't even sit, like, maybe 9 messages on our original tribe. Like, we barely spoke. So, I'm not gonna lie, when it came to our swap tribal council, I think, like, you were definitely in trouble because I didn't feel comfortable enough with you. I just mainly felt comfortable with Jackson, which was not really something I wanted to. It's not something I want, a position I wanted to be in, because I didn't want to be kind of on the bottom essentially, and because I didn't have a connection with you at all, even though you told me you had a great connection with Jackson afterwards. It was just like, that's when I think you kind of basically for the most part stopped trusting me, is when I feel like I needed to get rid of Jackson, because you told me how close you were and that he was like a really good friend of yours, and that you and him and Tawny were kind of your only closest people. It was just like there wasn't a lot of Jaguars left, and I feel like we ended up having to basically even having our conversations during the merge by default almost. We did vote together on some votes, but at the end of the day, I think it's more you were unpredictable. I didn't vote for you until you until the round you left though, which I think is like, hey, that's something, because you voted for me then too. But yeah, I think I genuinely didn't know the round before you were getting votes, and I'm not going to say I would have told you, because I don't think I would have, but but yeah, it was really interesting working. It's like when you go on a roller coaster and you like go down a hill, but then there's like another hill that you go up. I feel like that was our relationship like the entire way through the game. But it was still, I had like enjoyable conversations with you, and it was like, yeah, very unpredictable, but still very like fun to talk to it.
Okay, so I just want to say this, that Zach, I have respect for you, being that I lived in Chicago for 15 years, and we had a really good conversation about like where I used to live and like where you live in Chicago. We really did have that conversation. Chicago Heights, yes, I was paying attention. You know, I want you to know that. And it was just crazy when you came to me that day, and like all of a sudden everybody's names like were flying, and I just was like, whoa, wait, what's happening? And you know, Zach, I did rally the votes that day, like to make sure that you were the one that was going to bounce, because you did like throw out multiple people's names and said you were going to, you know, turn on people. And it was just things you were saying to me. And I went back to them. You and I didn't have the strongest connection. So like, obviously, like you were trying to get me as a number, but at the same time, you were willing to throw anyone and everyone under the bus to me when you and I didn't have that sort of trust. And I think that was like your downfall, because like I made a chat immediately with those people that you were essentially throwing under the bus and said, hey, this is what's happening. And, you know, the Stanley Steamer carpet cleaners were formed, and, you know, we went through and took out, you know, and cleaned up a little bit, because we needed that to happen at that point. I think there was some chaos being spread, and I think that it was a great move on your part to like try to get people to start talking about each other. But again, when people compare notes, that's when things happen. And I have nothing but respect for you, man. But man, that was crazy. Like, but I throwing 5 people out under the bus at one point was probably not the best move. But much respect to you, man. Like, honestly, like, our conversations were good. I enjoyed talking with you when we did chat. So I do apologize for rallying the votes, but it was something that had to have happened in order for this 3 of us to make sure that we were still on the right track. So.
Alrighty. That was definitely Zach, which was another bang, even the season. Alrighty. Next up, we have 8th placer, Aston.
Oh. Okay, this is the time for Jason to find out about this. Aston, it was between you and Sierra during the merge, and Eric and I were vehemently trying to protect you because Aston, Eric, and I were actually in an alliance, the 3 of us together, and we were trying to make sure that, because Aston, when they play, they don't really get that much opportunity to show who they are, what they can do, and how far they can go there. And when they get relationships, they end up feeling like they're just being used, and then they get stepped on. So to me, it's like, this is my second chance to actually build a good relationship with Aston, and they would see that it's genuine. So I kept going for not wanting to vote them, and then somebody was lying about them voting for me. I don't know, but Aston, like I said, don't sweat it. Your health and your welfare comes first. So I hope you enjoyed the game somehow, and maybe, yeah, people saw a bit more of you this time. So I have.
I'll sandwich this and put this in the middle. So Eric, you can kind of wrap that up. Aston, yeah, I was gunning for you at the merge, essentially, but everybody knew where my brain was, I think, for votes for 10th place, 9th place, 8th place. And everybody knew that Aston, I was going for you because you and I hadn't had conversations. We just didn't connect, and I didn't know where you stood, and I was like, I don't know where Aston's going to be. I don't know where their vote is going to go, and when will you come for me? And that was where I was, and I was like, I need that gone because I just don't like that unfamiliarity of like, where do I have a conversation or a bond strong enough? And Aston, you and I, talked about food, and we talked about sharing food pictures, and we, talked about how much, we were talking about how much we love food. And I seriously, like, I wish I'd gotten to meet up with you earlier in the game, because I think we would have definitely bonded more. But at the merge, it was like, I was already baking a cake at that point. Like, and I was kind of like, these are the people I really wanted to work with. And at that point, like, I had already kind of made my bed throwing your name out there when it was the Sierra round. So when Sierra went home, so I kind of like had to stick there without burning bridges with too many other people. And it wasn't anything personal, because you are sweet. You are one of the sweetest people that I've met. That's for sure.
Aston, I feel like I was one of your biggest supporters the entire game. I had said that you were one of my closest allies in early confessionals. Your name was brought up, and I immediately said, like, no, I am not doing that.
Eric vehemently did that.
Yes. And even before merge, your name came up both tribal councils, and I still said, like, no, I am not going to do that. We had very good conversations about how you feel that you're always first boot because you have medical issues, and it made me very, very sad and upset. So there was multiple rounds where I'm like, was continuously pushing the vote off of you, because I feel like I did see what you wanted other people to see, and I'm sorry they did not see that. But I was like, there were so many times where I was like, no, I will not do Aston. No, I will not do Aston. No, I will not do Aston. And then you voted me, which was like, I'm pretty sure you voted me with Zach, and I asked you about it, and you never really gave me a definitive answer. So it was after that, I was just kind of feeling like, a little heartbroken because I feel like I was probably your biggest supporter this game from the jump. And it was just almost like a heartbreaker because I feel like I supported you so much, and then once I got a vote from you, I was like, oh, this is really upsetting to me. So I still think you're a lovely person. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are out of the hospital and doing great. But yeah.
Alrighty. Sorry, I was too busy texting my work right now. But everybody's spoken. Aston, we all adore you. Just absolutely know that we all do. Yeah. And I will say, like, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Righty. So 7th place and our live night victim is Allie.
Oh my God, the queen of gymnastics. It's not Giacomonetti herself, flipping queen. We totally Ali. Ali and I were talking about this. This is something that we just do for fun. I totally adore Ali. I hosted her before. I hosted her twice, one in Pro Survivor and one in the other game. Ali is amazing. I love her. Oh my God, I hosted her 3 times. I hosted her in Pokemon as well. She does not take anything personally. Her values are her values. Like, they don't disappear. She's always smiling. It's always like she's having a great time. She doesn't want anyone feeling bad. Like, you're just genuinely in the presence of a good person when you're talking to Ali. Unfortunately, Ali, had you stayed longer, you would have gone after me or my allies. So at that point, Queen, as much as I love watching all the backflips, I would ask the US Commission to actually, no, you're Canadian, sorry. You could probably join the Canadian gymnastics team. But really, at that time you had to go, or else my allies would get sacrificed soon. So I'm sorry. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Allie. Like, this is the first time I've gotten to play with Allie. I've seen her in the org community as well. And everyone that I've ever come in contact that they speak of Allie has nothing negative to say about this.
Walking sunshine.
Yeah, like every time that Allie and I would call, I felt better about myself because Allie would make me feel good. And just walking away from a call with Allie, like, would make me feel like way better about the situation, especially on that Purple Parrots tribe when we were losing. And it was just really hard because we were like, what if we lose again? What are we gonna do now? Like, and Allie was like there to be like, no, we got this. We're gonna this is fine. We're gonna slay this and we're gonna win this last comp. And like, Jason, like, get it together and we're gonna win this. And like, she gave me a pep talk many times. And I do agree with Brian. There was a time here where it was gonna be like my allies or you at that point. And while we did have the Silent Killers Alliance, our conversations, Allie, I cherish them so much because you literally are that ray of sunshine in the org community that sometimes just doesn't exist. So love you, Allie. You're the best.
Are y'all seeing how we secretly and quietly all protected each other, the 3 of us, regardless of which place we're actually hiding our connections in? We're still choosing each other over other people who were working with us, right? Because there were other people who worked with us, and then eventually we're like, oh, they're coming after Eric. They're gonna come after Jason. You have to go. I'm sorry.
Allie, I swear to God, does not have like any mean bones in her body. She is literally the nicest person ever, which is exactly why she needs to leave. Like, everybody feels comfortable telling Allie everything. Like, because that's just how she is.
Yes.
She royally screwed me when she voted for me, and I literally pinned it on every other person in the game besides Allie, I feel like, until I was told. But I was like, oh my God, it was Allie, what? Yeah, you are just like such a fun person to talk to. Like, I agree with what everyone else said. Like, you can't leave talking to you in a bad mood. You're so positive. You're so bubbly. It's just so amazing talking to you, and you're like a really, really strong player. So it's like, yeah.
And you know what? I do want to say this. Shout out to Allie for literally doing tribal councils from the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, on break.
Mhm.
On her break in the bathroom.
Allie, we do love her. She's one of my best friends. So yeah, I'm glad that she applied to this. Alrighty. So next up, we have sixth placer. Their live night was said and done. And that's not what we were wanting to look at Triumph right now.
Ah, Timmy.
But we have Timmy.
I think I have the least to say when it comes to Timmy. Timmy and I never really got to connect, and that's mainly my fault. Every time we would try to talk, which I'm pretty sure there were only two circumstances, I would be very short because I was on a mission to do something else in my personal life. But I never really got to say this. Jesus Christ, you're a beautiful man. Like, looking at your photos, what a good looking dude. I wish we got to connect more. When I told Lyndon that I would vote publicly to save you and Lyndon, I meant that. I really literally had no intention of voting you until it was going to be a situation where you guys would vote for me. So now I have to vote for you. But really, even if we did not have that connection, I was very loyal to the red, no, the green monkey. How can I be loyal to a tribe I don't remember? But yes, I really, really like your presence. I wish we had more. That's on me.
Yeah, Timmy, like we were you know, on the original tribe together. We talked at the beginning. We did form a, you know, a really good connection early with Yumi and Lyndon, and that came to fruition in the merge as well, like where, you know, I know you and Lyndon trusted me enough to be in your group circle where I kind of knew where you guys were headed towards the end. Like it really was like, all right. And you know, Lyndon, I knew Lyndon had the half idol because they told me that you knew about it too. So at that point, we all got together and we started talking about what was happening. And I'm just really glad I got a chance to like have those conversations with you and to work with you. And at this point, like you and Lyndon were just really like a power duo that like socially were doing the thing. And I think that people loved you both. And I think that there was a lot of respect for both of you and your love for Disney and having a good time while being in a hotel room with Minor like running around like in the background, like while we were doing that challenge. And like, I don't know, that takes commitment, man. And like, I have nothing but respect for you. No deliveries in 2 seconds. What are you talking about? We're gushing.
We got off on a very, very rocky relationship too. We didn't really talk much. Literally on my accord, because I was so certain that you voted for me until I found out you didn't. And I think I probably had the most genuine and like real conversation with you when we spoke about like various mental illnesses and depression and that kind of thing. And it was really eye-opening because I think that's not some like that those kind of conversations aren't something I necessarily like gravitate to or really have in org games. So it was like really refreshing to be able to have a conversation with you like that wasn't really even game related like at all. It was more focused on personal, which was like really, really refreshing. I think we both at the point we had that conversation kind of knew where we were standing. And I wish that I never assumed you voted for me because we would have been able to have that conversation a lot sooner if that was the case. And I think it definitely would have changed the dynamic of some of the relationships I had for sure.
Alrighty. We love Timmy. Love him. I would love whenever him and Minor would come on whenever we were hosting Timmy on something. It would be a little double date call with those two and me and Sev. which we love. Alrighty. So next up, we have 5th placer, Lyndon in the draft, and our COVID explorer through the last couple weeks.
My heart breaks because Lyndon, you are amazing, and like the fact that we managed to get this far in this game, talking to each other, and then you trusting me like with that half idol, and like it was crazy, like, and that you and I could not get that sucker activated at some point, right? But I mean, truth be told, when we were in that final paper challenge and you ended up, when you won that, it was kind of a bummer, but I really kind of, in my pit of my stomach, I dropped so that, you know, the idol couldn't get activated at that point. And I know that was kind of bad, but I hope you can respect that, because I knew that you were going to be a threat to win this game socially. And I think if you made it to the end, that you would be mopping up some jury votes and mopping the floor with people sitting next to you. And you really are amazing. And the fact that you played this game while you had COVID, like, and didn't like fold like a house of cards and you kept fighting, is something I certainly respect. So.
Is it my turn? Oh, Lyndon. Okay, I said there are only 3 people I really, really want to connect with after this game. You are one of them without a doubt. Like, unbelievable person. You were such a gem. We never felt the need to constantly talk and try to like always secure each other. We just knew for a fact that, hey, if it's my time, just let me know and I'll accept it. And every time we did that, it was really genuine. I did not want to vote for you. I really, really didn't. But when they explained to me why you had to go, I was like, that kind of makes sense. But you will have to take her out without my vote, because I wasn't doing you because I gave you my word. I really hope though that you understand that they did that because you were legitimately a force to win this game. Like, you were. And sometimes people just have to look out for their best interest. And because of how good you are when it comes to playing this game, you are not good news to anyone in the final 3. That's just it. It's not because they didn't like you or anything. Nobody had a chance against you at that point. So I don't know if there's any comfort in that, but that's why they voted you out. And I kind of had to let it happen because I'm so sorry. I really love you and I hope we get to connect. P.S. They're going to replace the Statue of Liberty with Peppa Pig, and we're going to go there.
Lyndon, like Timmy, we had a very interesting relationship. I actually don't think we ever necessarily like lied to each other, even though we were basically on opposite sides like the entire time. When I figured out that what the number was for the idol, I mentioned it to someone and you came and told me. It's like, yeah, you're right. Like, I have it. Like, it was so interesting that we never really had like insanely long conversations, but we were still like so open and so honest with each other up until right when you were voted out. You were honestly such a joy to talk to. Andy Lizard, who I'm honestly obsessed with.
Bernoulli.
But yeah, it was just really refreshing to have someone that was like, we kind of seemed like we both had like a mutual respect for each other's gameplay, and that's kind of where a lot of the truth telling kind of came from. So it was really refreshing to have that this game, and I really did enjoy working with you during the weird rounds that we did. During the weird rounds, we did vote together. So yeah, you were really a really strong contender to win. I think out of the final 5, you could have easily won your way to the end after kicking my ass in the endurance cop. You would have done very, very well.
We do love Lyndon. She survived through it. She won an endurance comp 6, so which was impressive as it was. Yeah. Eric, you also had an impressive feat there in that too. All righty. So next up, we are finally at the end of this journey through our cast. We are on and I know you guys have a lot to say about this next person just sent to the jury. And that is, you know what? His picture's not up. So we're
Grace.
going to the color picture.
You sent Grace to the jury?
We're going to talk about Grace.
We're going to have to just get it because his boot post hasn't been put up yet. That's why. When was he revealed? Okay.
Next to Brian right there.
Next to you. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't see with all the screens, but yeah, here we are.
Who wants to go first? Somebody go first, please.
All right, I'll go first. Jared, this game would not have been this game for me without you. But I feel that sentiment is going to be echoed by everyone here because everyone was connected to you. This game ran through Jared. Lots of things went through Jared. Like, Jared, you were so strong at being social enough, but not the person at the top perceived. And for me, early, we had amazing conversations in the first section of the game. We got split up, and then when we got back, it became, all right, Jared, what are we doing? And we reconnected right away. I knew you had connections with Timmy and Lyndon. I knew you had connections with Allie. I knew that you were branching out to the other tribe to start making connections with them. And you seriously, you have nothing to be ashamed of about how you played this. Because again, you had strong social bonds with just about everyone in this game. And to piggyback with Lyndon, I think, again, had, like I said, at Tribal tonight, that I think, and what I told you in PMs as well, that if you were to be sitting in this final three, you might win this game and you might win it handily based off of the fact that you hadn't pissed everyone off, but at the same time, you had a very strong case to plead. And I think you would have done exceptionally well on with the jury had one of us been sitting there instead of you tonight. So no disrespect, you played a stellar game, and to go out at fourth, there's nothing wrong with that. I think probably both of everyone else here, I think, has gone out at fourth or just before final, and it does suck, and it feels like it's a gut punch, and you're so gross, Brian. But Jared, I know I'm taking up a lot of time here, but I really have nothing but respect for you, man. And this was one of the hardest votes I had to make this whole game. So I have nothing but respect.
Okay, Jared, you're gonna see this after the game, and there's no point in lying or misleading you or anything. You were really, really good. You were great, but I kind of understood what you were trying to do. I kind of saw the game that you were trying to play, which is, to have a lot of deals with everyone, to be instrumental in everyone's game. I really, really, really wish you had more confidence in your position in the game, so you did not have to strike a lot of conflicting deals, because that's when I got turned off. The fact that you did not have that much faith in where you were and how instrumental you were to everyone kind of put me in a situation where I'm going to get dragged to all your deals. And when you have to cut them, I have to cut them too. And you chose the person to cut being Jason. And like I said, I have been very, very, very fiercely protective of my final three. So I had to do what I did at Tribal to force your hand into voting someone that you're working with instead. And I'm very sorry that that happened. But I do think that as well as you played all of this, you really didn't bank on the idea that I can be a strong competitor. I can win these things, and things would change when that happens. So again, I'm sorry, but really great job. You played really, really well.
Jared, this was, oh my God, I'm almost crying. This was by far the hardest vote that I've had to make the entire game, and it literally was not even close. Ever since we were swapped, we had so many amazing conversations. We called probably the most, I think, out of everybody in this game, like with each other. Like, I had so many amazing, genuine conversations with you. And all of them were like 100% real. It was amazing that I got to connect with you. And I know how bad you wanted, for only being your second game, I know how bad you wanted to be in the final three. And I know how bad you would have murdered everyone if you were there too. But like, it was just so phenomenal, and my connection with you is probably the strongest connection I think I've made this entire game. So it's like, your vote was really, really, really difficult, and even seeing you fight at the like final tribal council was like really admirable, and it was just it was a lot. And yeah, you're one of the people that I'm like, hands down, I want to get to know you after the game, like 100%. You're going to be like the first person I message after we find out results. You're going to be like the first person I want to talk to in the reunion, because I enjoyed every single conversation we had, and it was just so much fun talking to you.
Alrighty. So yeah, you guys have gone through everybody who all got voted out. And now like it's the only thing is just Monday to get here. Alrighty, let me go ahead and stop sharing. Alrighty, well, thank you guys so much for doing this. I hope you had fun recapping on your fellow contestants, your fallen contestants. Mm-hmm. And did you guys love this season?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I haven't won yet. Yes, it was
Also
very, very
before
fun.
this night ends. See, I'm already following EST. Before this night ends, like literally, Jesse, Grace, Billy, and Sab, literally, thank you for such a phenomenal time. We had a great time. A lot of ups and downs for somebody who's not always there. It's kind of understandable, but when I'm there, I'm like, I really enjoyed talking to the people in this game. I really did, and you guys did a phenomenal job. So not a lot of people understand how it is to host, to like dedicate your time for a thankless job. There's no payment in doing this, but you guys did it with full commitment. So my heart goes out to you guys.
Yeah, I just want to, I'll piggyback and just add, I hope that Distortion is around for a really long time for you guys, because you guys did a really nice job. So
yes, because you guys have to invite me in the Ultimate Inactive. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah.
But my first vote in All Stars, when we're asked to do All Stars, the three of us, is going to be for Eric. I'm voting his ass out first.
Yes.
Look at how rude they are to me, Grace.
You started it.
You started it by calling us grandpa.
Yeah, I did. Okay, I understand.
Good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was our little season recap. And yeah, you guys see what's more to come. You just find out Monday. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording this.